Yes, ma'am. I have several things to say. So, a reminder, I want to mention we're having a third district Saturday food giveaway and diaper giveaway from 12 to 2, and COVID 19 vaccinations and testing from 11 to 3 at Burrell McDonald Park. That's coming up this Saturday. This is all the flyer is also located on the city's website. And I just want to comment on some things in the past meetings. I want to reiterate some things that the constituents have brought up. Mr. Ray questioned the $200,000 that was provided to help the homeless get into shelter, but Compton does not have any shelters. And I said, what will the city do with those funds? Um, uh, Dr. Ralph responded, although there are no homeless shelters in Compton, the city partners with agencies that are currently offering services to the homeless as well as providing emergency solutions. Nextly, Ms. Hayes, Charmaine Hayes, questioned the process of selection of nonprofits and further inquired as to whether or not they are located in Compton. I do think we need clarification on that and more clarity and transparency on how we deal with how we select these nonprofits. Mr. Carlos raised concerns that bonds that were diverted and further indicated that when the state audit was done, it was discovered that certain funds were placed in programs that were not appropriate. Mr. Collins questioned whether there will be an oversight committee put into place to make certain that funds are going to the right people and used the correct manner. Lastly, Mr. Barras, Adolfo Barras, Executive Director of the Latino Chamber of Commerce, questioned the methods the city used to choose the nonprofits for a grant program. Moreover, will there be oversight committee to determine which organizations will perform the best interests of the city? So in our municipal code, there's several committees that we're supposed to have in place. And I say right now we need to bring them back to answer these questions and to satisfy what the constituents are asking. Nextly, there's been a lot of comments or concerns with regards to the intersection takeovers. So there are some things in progress. However, I have directly spoken to the city of Paramount because they've implemented some new things and it's been successful. One of the things Paramount has done, they've changed their ordinance and what have you. They're giving citations for spectators. So prohibition of spectators. The actual racers or the ones doing the donuts, they get their cars impounded for 30 days. This is a municipal code moving violation. Also, what they're doing is what's called a forfeiture of nuisance vehicles, where they confiscate your vehicle. Paramount is using what they call special assignment officers. I don't know if Compton has that in place, though, that unit of officers. I know Compton is short on officers, and that's something we need to look into and talk to, the sheriff's department about that. The other thing is Paramount puts up street banners and they put on social media to educate the public, the issues and the potential of you being prosecuted, the dangers and so on and so forth about being a part of these intersection takeovers and street racing. Nextly, I want to say this, I've gotten several messages from my constituents.
Good morning.
My constituents are asking, and I'm wondering, who sets the weekly agenda and how it gets done? I've met with the city manager who explained certain aspects, but I would like to publicly and formally ask the following to be added to the agenda. Warrants. The city used to list all warrants as a record on the agenda. I would like to see warrants listed again for the council and public to know and monitor. Each item listed on the agenda should have the name of the person handling or championing its inclusion. The city manager, of course, will remain the main contact, but for historical note, given high turnover, I think who handled what issues should be noted for the record. City priorities. The priorities of the people of Compton, from the feedback I'm receiving, are infrastructure, bettering our financial condition, and importantly, policing. I therefore expect to see these issues take precedence in appearing on the agenda so we can allocate and give approval to move these projects or issues swiftly forward. here are some immediate priorities. Street repairs. The city has a $38 million bond. I'd like to get Wilmington, or we need to get Wilmington Avenue, one of our main thoroughfares, completed before the rains begin in Compton, in my opinion. It runs from El Segundo to the 91 freeway and is used majorly by residents, and we need to move on this quickly. The company, well, again, we talked about Sully Miller doing the work. They were responsible for paving our streets in the past, and they have a good knowledge and understanding of our layout. Right now, Compton residents want no more excuses, and since there's been less than 10% of the streets done in the city of Compton, our potholes, our teams, our teams need to be out right now filling potholes in anticipation of the rain, or we will have craters over our city. I'd like to also note that we've looked at pothole filler equipment. Pothole specific companies are using cement to fill potholes. This also is a matter that cannot wait and needs major work right now. City lights and street lights. When a light is reported out, the city needs to develop a rapid deployment plan. The light or light bulb needs to be ordered, repaired, or hit the agenda immediately. If any approvals are needed, it should not languish weeks or months. I would ask the city manager to designate a champion tasked with taking the reports and keeping the lights on and working in the city. I just addressed street racing. I've had complaints about street racing in residential areas in District 3 and District 4 particularly. They're particularly vulnerable due to their proximity to the 91 freeway and ability for cars to hop on and off of it. I was reading the municipal code, and there are penalties for street racing that can be handled by the city attorney in the form of tickets or other means. I think we need the city attorney and the captain work in tandem on improving our response and penalties. We need a champion in the city attorney's office for these inquiries that can be addressed, who can swiftly issue penalties, tickets, impound vehicles, papers, etc. In addition, constituents have brought to my attention the city of Paramount, which I just explained to you, have implemented new ordinances that seem to be very effective with regard to these street takeovers. So I've actually spoken with the city managers. That's one thing. And lastly, I have to comment on this. Mr. Voorhees, if you're still out there, you made a comment about we are pushing for income units and so on and so forth. That's not us. That's the past administration. Secondly, when you talk about the training of young people and you said I refuse to contact you or give you information, I responded to you and I texted you on July 28th at 1:11 p.m. and said I'd be more than happy. Let's connect and let's see my partner in Long Beach, Mr. Duke Gibbons, who was responsible for initiating the LA riverbed cleanup that could provide jobs for youth and so on and so forth as a starting point. And you never responded. So I'm appalled that you said I refuse to do it. It's not true, because I'm all about vocational training and about helping our youth in the city of Compton. And I have a lot of things on the table to assist our youth and not just youth, the people in Compton with vocational training. And there's several meetings and what have you set up, i.e. the school district and other sources. So that basically concludes, my comments. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Mr. City Attorney.
I just would like to remind the council ordinance Compton Municipal Code Section 2-1.15 entitled Council Time Limit. The city council members shall limit their comments to 3 minutes per council member per agenda item and 5 minutes per council member for any matters not appearing on the agenda except for public hearings.
Thank you for not bringing that forth, and I'm consulting with the
Madam Mayor,
Okay, well, no, Councilman Dog. Not right now. I'm addressing the city. I'm addressing the attorney. First, let me say, I just said thank you for actually bringing that forth and actually reminding us, reflecting our memory and regarding this. And so, thank you for doing that, because sometimes it can be organized.
Mayor?
Okay.
Mayor, I've been on this council longer than anybody up here, and that has never been the issue. 3 minutes per council comment, that's just not enough time to address all the issues for public comment, plus all the issues that we want to talk about in our district. That has never been the issue. And I'm very shocked that you all of a sudden want to interject yourself.
Mic is off. Mic off. Because we have to move on. I'm not gonna stay up here all night. Because the thing of it is, we don't have to discuss. We're taking care of the business of the city. I'm allowing us to, audience, our comments so that we can move on.
Madam Mayor, may I ask you a question?
Yes, Councilman Bowers.
I apologize.
Why is it not happening?
I was aware of.
Excuse me, you apologize. Thank you for your apology, Councilman Bowers, and so we move on.
I wasn't aware of that. However, this information is information from my constituents, what have you. They want to hear it, so I think it's wrong to suppress me and not be able to get this information. I also not to let the know I'm here.
Mic off. Mic's off.
Oh my God.
Councilman, Doug.